friends, welcome this morning to worship here at Two Rivers Church. I'm Wendy, the lead pastor here. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm really excited to be back together. We had an incredible experience last Sunday when we had our first worship both in person at Common House Aleworks, but also here online. And I love the way we were able to merge those two experiences. And I'm so glad for all of you who are back here again with us this week. We are going to be worshiping again in person on next Sunday, June 20th, back again at Common House. Of course, we'll be here live streaming, and we have some really exciting ways that we're going to get to celebrate some events that have happened in the life of our community. And we're going to do those both online and in person. So no matter where you are, there will be a way for you to participate and celebrate with us next week. And we can't wait to have you. We have so many exciting things to share with you this Sunday and this week as we continue in our worship, some ways that we're going to look back upon some incredible experiences that we've had, and then also look forward to what the future is bringing us here at Two Rivers. So no matter where you are, no matter what's happened in your life, this is your place. This is your community. This is where we clearly say, you are beautiful, you are beloved, you belong, and God is proud of you. And so we are so happy that you're here this morning for worship. If this is one of your first times with us, you can drop us a note in the comments. Let us know that you're here. You can reach out to us via our connect and contact page on our website. I'd love to do a coffee with you, a phone call, a video chat, some way to connect so that we can get you plugged into this incredible community. Well, friends, we have so much happening this morning, so let's continue in our worship.
Praise to the Lord, the Almighty, the King of creation. Oh, my soul, praise Him, for He is my health and salvation. Come all who hear, now to God's simple draw near. Join me in glad adoration. Praise to the Lord above all things, so wondrously reigning, sheltering you under His wings and so gently sustaining. Have you not seen all that is needful has been sent by God's gracious ordaining? Praise to the Lord who will prosper your work and defend you. Surely God's goodness and mercy shall daily attend you. Ponder anew what the Almighty can do, if with His love He befriends you. Joyful, joyful, we adore Thee, God of glory, Lord of love. Hearts unfold like flowers before Thee, opening to the sun above. Joyful, joyful, we adore Thee, God of glory, Lord of love. Hearts unfold like flowers before Thee, opening to the sun above. Oh, adore thee, God of glory, Lord of love. Hearts unfold like flowers before thee, opening to the sun above. Praise to the Lord, oh let all that is in me adore him. All that has life and breath, come now with praises before him. Let the amen sound from his people again, gladly forever adore him. Oh, joyful, joyful, we adore thee, God of glory, Lord of love. Hearts unfold like flowers before thee, opening to the sun above.
We have so many incredible things that we can celebrate that have just happened in 1 week. Last week during our worship experience, we said that we wanted to show our generosity to our community, especially to our solidarity partners, We Are Family, and the Alliance for Full Acceptance. And so between the offering that we took up in person and then also the gifts that came online last Sunday, we were able to make 2 $500 gifts, one $500 gift to We Are Family and another to the Alliance for Full Acceptance out of your generosity. It was an incredible day as we were tabulating and calculating everything that came in last week. And then we were able on Tuesday to make those gifts right away to those organizations. They are so important to the LGBTQ community here in Charleston. And we wanted to let them know that we stand in solidarity with the work that they do. And their work of creating a place of flourishing and beauty is also our work and how we are connected with them. So friends, thank you for the incredible work that you have done in being able to give generously so that we can continue to share and support work that is so important to all of us here in Charleston. Wanted to let you know as well that we continue to make good use of your gifts through the Good Neighbor Fund and also through the mental health fund that we have. Whenever you make a gift to our general fund, it goes to support both of those efforts. So you can make just general gifts of a one-time or recurring gifts and know that your money is going out to support our families. And sometimes we do that really locally here. Sometimes it's families at a distance. We have communities that join us from all over the world every Sunday. And so we want to make sure that our support is showing up wherever our people may be. So friends, thank you for your unending generosity and the way that you love and care for those who are on the margins of our society, but are central to the work and to the heart of our community. Well, one of the ways that we get to experience the joy that comes through Pride Month is by getting today to revisit one of our favorite conversations from the past year, and that is with the incredible Patty O'Furniture. She was very present last week at Park Circle Pride, and so we had the opportunity to have a conversation with her last year, in addition to being the state's, and I would say the Southeast premier drag queen. Patty O'Furniture also is a person of faith and is a United Methodist, which is the tradition of Two Rivers Church. And so this conversation we had back in October has one that has lived with me, and I've gone back and rewatched it. It is full of delight and meaning and incredible sharing. And so we wanted to be able to bring this conversation back to you, especially this month as we celebrate Pride. So friends, enjoy this conversation with me and Patty O'Furniture.
Friends, I am so excited. This is hands down the most excited that I've been in the past 6 months to be able this morning to welcome as our incredible special guest to worship, Patty O'Furniture. Patty, we are so happy that you're here with us.
I'm just so honored to be asked to be a part of your worship service, and was thrilled when I got the request, because like your shirt says, I believe that you are beautiful and all of God's creatures are beautiful. Some of us do take a little bit more makeup to be beautiful than others, but it's what's on the inside that counts.
Yes. Well, for those of you who have not had the chance to meet or see or experience Patty in person, Patty is one of the most influential drag queens in all of the state. And I know that you do a lot of performing in Charleston as well, where we're located. And I just am so honored that you're here with us today. And so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm actually celebrating 21 years as an entertainer this year.
You're legal now.
Yes, my drag anniversary is October 11th. So 21 years I've been entertaining. Started in Columbia, South Carolina, but for the past 10 years I've been based in Charleston, performing at different bars and clubs and events there. Currently, I've been playing the role of MC of Charleston Pride, but I also work with places like Pounce Cat Cafe downtown, hosting their drag bingo, Palmetto Community Care, doing their big gay bingo event, the Charleston Blockade, the gay rugby team in Charleston. I love using the gifts that God gave me, and MAC Cosmetics gave me as well, to spread some love in our community. I think, especially now, that's so important. And it's the way I was raised. And I was raised a good Methodist, still a member of Central United Methodist Church up in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Proud to say that we are a church that is on the more progressive side of our denomination. And our pastor up there is leading the charge to be as inclusive as we can. And of course, there's a big question mark over a lot of that right now, but I'm so glad that congregations like yours are spreading the word of love and acceptance and being beautiful.
Yes. Well, one of the ways that we first were introduced to each other last year when we had the General Conference, our large United Methodist Global Gathering, our congregation really was kind of at the forefront of offering an inclusive church response. And a lot of the media in the state, and Stanton Adams, who's our creative director and was our main spokesperson during that time, you sent him an email just encouraging him. And you'd have no idea, the time that you resent that was a time when we were feeling very, very weary. And we never questioned what we were doing, because we know that God has really called us to this particular work. But you can still feel weary even when you know you're doing the right thing. And that email that you sent to us really gave us the energy and encouragement for the next stage of our response together. So just wanted to say thank you, how much something so simple you probably don't even remember really meant so much to us.
Well, one thing that I do believe in is those small acts of kindness, of generosity, of love. What may be small to you isn't small to somebody else. And the work you all are doing is not small by any means. Letting everyone know, whether they're members of the LGBTQ community or they're allies, or they're just looking for a place where they fit in. I think it's so important that we let people like that know that they have a home in our church. I mean, growing up as a little kid who was always a little bit different, I loved going to MYF on Sunday nights, and I loved making friends and bringing them to church on Sunday night with me. Working in the church nursery, I was one of the little helpers who would, when they were really crowded in our nursery during church services, they would pull me, and I would get to be the cool guy. Oh my gosh, hold on, I just broke character. People might not realize I'm a drag queen. I forgot to say that up front. Yeah, hey everybody, guess what? I'm a man. But yeah, it was simply a positive role model as a young kid. There were other little kids in the nursery, and they're like, oh, okay, cool, there's a big guy who looks sort of like us. And years later, one of those kids came out to me and said that one of the things that caused him to be comfortable enough to come out was that he remembered seeing me around church, and he didn't know that I was gay at the time, but he knew that I was different like him. And so, again, it's those little things that you never know how it's going to impact somebody. I have a little mantra that I believe in, and it's spread happiness. It's just do one thing every day, one little thing every day that you hope will spread happiness. And that can be something as simple as opening the door for somebody, especially in this time of COVID where you're not supposed to touch things and interact with people. Holding the door as somebody walks into a restaurant or a store, could mean a lot to somebody, especially somebody who might be immunocompromised and they don't want to touch it. So, but thank you for saying that. And I'm so glad to know that my message to you and your congregation was received with all the love that it was meant.
Yes. Well, I as I hear you share that story, I just think of how you're really called to live with a sense of integrity. And that seems like something that's been really important to you in your life. And I just have to imagine that that came from your parents, especially your mom is the one who I think we know the most, Representative Liz Patterson, and just how much she gave of herself and really helped change the shape of South Carolina in her public service. And she also was such an active woman of faith as well. And it seems like you really have learned and gleaned so much from her.
Oh, most definitely. For anyone who doesn't know, my mother was a public official here in South Carolina. She was the second woman ever elected to the South Carolina State Senate. And she served for 6 years in Washington as the first woman ever elected to a full term to the U.S. House of Representatives from South Carolina. But in 1992, she lost her bid for re-election, and in 1994 attempted to run for lieutenant governor and was unsuccessful. And at that point, she sort of re-examined her path in life, as we all do from time to time. And she went and got a master's degree and worked in higher education for a while. But she became very involved in the leadership of the United Methodist Church. She was consistently a delegate to our annual conference here in South Carolina, and eventually was selected as a delegate to General Conference. And attended General Conference. And for everybody who doesn't know, that's sort of like our international gathering for the leadership of the Methodist Church. And Mom was a delegate to that body for 4 different General Conferences where they were having different conversations. But one of the big conversations that they were having was about LGBTQ issues, both affecting clergy and membership and same-sex marriage. My mother served on a subcommittee called the General Board of Church and Society, which deals with social issues in our denomination, and made her last great cause that she championed in her life to make her denomination inclusive for all of her children. And that's both her children that she gave birth to, me and my brother and sister, but all of the children that she knew. And to know that my mom's last big cause was to make our church a place that I was included and I was welcome really means a lot to me. And I tell everybody, one of my favorite messages that I've saved on my phone, and I actually have now converted it so I have it saved on my laptop and I can listen to it whenever I want to. When Mom's at General Conference in Fort Worth, Texas, she called me and left a voicemail message, and it starts off with, "If my child who's brave enough to come out and live his life truthfully, I thought it was time that I come out as well." And I was like, when I heard it, I was like, my mother's a lesbian? What? What Mom had done that night at General Conference, she had stood up and put her rainbow stole around her neck to show that she was a supportive member of General Conference. And she said when she did it, she was one of the only people that stood up in this room of 1,000 or so people. But that the minute she did it, she looked to her left and looked to her right, and others stood up. And again, it's those small acts. You never know what the impact is going to be. But the fact that Mom did that, and that I knew that she was doing it for me, meant so much. And when Mom did pass away, we had her service at Central Methodist in Spartanburg. Leadership from the Methodist Church came from around the country to be there to thank her for lending her voice to that fight. And so it really does mean a lot to me that I was lucky enough to have her as my mom. And now my dad, still a member of Central, he is part of our reconciling class that we have there at Central Methodist. And he has always been a quiet supporter of me and my siblings, but parental support is amazing. And like I said, with my mom, supporting her children, whether they are her biological children or those people in the community that she views as children. She's a great, they're both great examples. And I was lucky to be raised in a family with amazing examples of people who are strong in their faith. It's not, my mother always called some people showboat Christians, the people who tell you that they're a Christian and they have to brag about it and they have to almost proselytize to a point that you wonder, why are you making such a big deal out of it? Show me through your actions. Show me through your deeds. Show me through your everyday life that you're a good person and that you care for me and you care for your fellow man. And as long as we're on the subject, that you care for the planet that we live on. Because I love that this church is embracing environmental causes as well.
That's wonderful.
I need to take a breath now. But thank you for letting me talk about Mom, because she was a special lady and she will always be a special lady to me. And I'm so glad to know that the work she did laid the groundwork for a lot of what's going on in our Methodist congregations here in South Carolina.
She very directly laid the groundwork for our congregation to exist. So we can trace back, our own life exactly back to her and all that she offered and shared. So thank you for continuing on that life and that legacy that she left. And know that we are doing all that we can to continue that work that she started and to take it to kind of the next step and the next level in her honor. For sure. So I love how you talk about really like the way that your example was so literal life giving to others, especially when you're growing up. So if you had to had a chance to speak to especially some of the youngest folks in our midst, especially some of our queer folks who may not have the family support that you had growing up, what message would you offer to them?
It's a message that I got from my fraternity big brother. When I was in college, I was in a fraternity, very involved. And when I came out to myself, the very first thing I did was I struggled with my identity and my faith and how my faith and my sexuality work together. The second person that I came out to, the very second person that I ever said the words "I'm gay" to, was my big brother. He was a Methodist minister at the time. He has since gotten a little more high church, and I'm not going to say which denomination, but he continued on his faith journey until slightly farther down the road. But he said, remember the basic lines of the Bible. You don't need to remember a particular scripture line. You don't need to carry a Bible with you. Remember that God is love. And God created you this way. And so just remember that wherever you go. God doesn't make mistakes. God made you the way you are. And you may feel different right now, but celebrate that difference. That's what makes you unique. That's what makes you one of the colors of the rainbow. If we were all red or all purple or all blue, it'd be nice. Look at us, it's a blue state. But having the pinks and the browns and the turquoises and the yellows, that's what makes us so unique. And so cling to that. Don't think of it as a negative. Think of it as a positive. And when you're not fitting in, when somebody's making fun of you or you're being the victim of bullying, remember that person is making fun of you because they're jealous of your sparkle. They're jealous of what makes you unique. It was a lesson that was so hard for me to learn. But growing up, I learned it, that usually when somebody is saying negative things about you, if they've got time to do that, one, they need to work on themselves. But two,
Right.
usually they're trying to tear you down because they think that'll somehow make themselves better. And
Yeah.
so pay them no mind.
Mm.
I can't tell you how often I've had to start ignoring things. I mean, people tell me I'm not the prettiest drag queen. People tell me I'm not their favorite.
What?
Guess what?
Oh.
I know some people just don't have taste, but that's okay. And guess what? I'm not really crazy about cauliflower. So okay, some people love it. They make rice out of it. They make pizza crust out of it. Great. Just not this drag queen. So remember that, like cauliflower, some people like it, some people don't. Some people say good things about it, some people say bad things. That's just the nature of life. Cling to that one phrase, God is love. And if you ever need a hug, find me, because one of the great things about being a drag queen is I'm usually the tallest person in the room. You can find me, and I promise we're going to get through this coronavirus thing. We can hug again, and I will be right there ready to celebrate you and how beautiful you are, and remind you of how beautiful you are, and give you that hug that we all deserve.
Amen. Well, Patty, if folks want to be able to find you and connect with you online or in person, how can they do so?
I make it really easy. I am all about Patty on all social media. If you go to facebook.com/allaboutpatty, and it's Patty with an I, Instagram, Twitter, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, and even, and all joking aside, if folks want to reach out to me, you can even find me at allaboutpatty@icloud.com. That's my email address if folks want to reach out in a more confidential way. But I just love the chance to be with you guys this morning, and to catch myself, because I'm trying to do better about that. I always default to certain silly phrases, and I realize that guys falls on the binary. So I'm happy to be with all y'all this morning.
Well, Patty, as soon as we are able to gather and meet in person, I cannot wait for you to be our very first guest in our in-person worship. It will be the highlight of my life to have you come in and get to be with us, and we can get some of those hugs that you talk about. So
I look forward to it. And I will say, for folks who do follow me on social media, there are going to be some things coming up. I'm again celebrating 21 years of performing. So I'm getting ready to announce on my social media a couple of new and different events that I'm going to be doing there in the Charleston area. And so I hope to see some of you all out and about as health and safety protocols allow, and can't wait to come worship with you all in person. One of my favorite hymns is Lord of the Dance, and everyone jokes because I can't dance at all, if you've ever seen me on stage. As the line says, dance, dance wherever you may be. And I hope you guys are praising loud at home right now, and staying safe and being well. And remember, God loves you, I love you, and you are beautiful.
Well, Patty, thank you so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you, and stay in touch, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.
At the heart of our community is these aspects of engaging in ritual. And rituals are a way that we're able to connect ourselves and link ourselves up both together and to God. They're ways that we're able to repeat actions that have deep spiritual meaning and that bring us close to the divine. One of the rituals that we engage in here at Two Rivers Church is that of baptism. And a few weeks ago, we had the opportunity to celebrate the baptism of Kanani Burns. If you have small children or you've participated in our children's spiritual formation atrium, that's what we call our Sunday school, you will have seen Kanani. She's an incredible member of our community. And as she was teaching the lessons on baptism, this was an experience, a ritual she wanted to experience for herself. And so we were able to do that a few weeks ago. And this is just a wonderful montage of that day, a beautiful visual reminder of the power of community, the power of God that comes to us through baptism. So we want to thank GLAAD Films for putting this together for us, and enjoy this experience of God at work.
Proud, come all greedy, come all liars, come all shame, come all wealthy, come receiving to the table, come today. Come all broken, come all needy, come all pouring, come all shamed. Come all rulers, come be seated. Come all sinners, come all saints. Come to the table from near and from far. Come from the shadows, come out of the dark. There's room at the table. We saved you a seat. Come to the banquet. Come join in the feast. Every race, every nation, come all rebels, come all gay. From the fringes come to Jesus, to the table full of grace. To the table come and stay. Come to the table, come eat and come drink. There's no inner circle. Come dine with the King. Recline at the table. down your guard. You're never a stranger. Just come as you are. Come be whole. Come be loved. Come accepted. Come now, come. Come be whole. Come be loved. Come accepted. Come now, come. Come be whole. Come be loved. Come accepted. Come now, come. Prepared is the table. We're ready to feast. The party's waiting. There's more still to feed. The harvest is ready. Go fill every seed. Go live out the mission. A kingdom of peace.
Friends, we are so glad that you are here with us today. Every single Sunday, whether we are in person or fully online, you will find us right here. So no matter your comfort level, your summer travel schedule, if you're working and need to watch this later on during the week, know that this worship experience is always here. We will always be present at 10 a.m. on Sundays, and you can come back anytime throughout the week to experience our community joining together in this way. So next Sunday, we'll have 2 ways to worship, same at 10 o'clock in person at Common House Aleworks in Park Circle, and then also here on our digital channels. And we're going to have the chance to do some celebrating both from our online community, our in-person community, because they are one. And no matter where you are, we get to be present and community and family together. So friends, as you go into this week celebrating pride, celebrating the gift of God's diversity to us, celebrating the gift of God's inclusion to us, celebrating the gift of our beauty and of our belovedness, because this is the way that God has made us. And for these things, we can say, thanks be to God. Friends, go in peace. See you next week.